Welcome to Fantasybites. I'm your host, Matthew. Today's video is what to watch for. In this video, we will be going over some specific players to pay attention to on Sunday, trying to decipher if they will be useful fantasy assets for the rest of the season. A reminder that all fantasy points in this video will be based off of ESPN's PPR format. First up in what to watch for, we have the Ravens backfield. We knew that going into week 1 that the Ravens would utilize both Mark Ingram and rookie running back J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. What we ended up seeing in their performances in week 1 was eye-opening. Ingram led the backfield with 10 carries to Dobbins' 7, but Dobbins was the beneficiary of the goal line work, scoring 2 touchdowns. Their fantasy days were capped by the rest of the Ravens offense taking up most of the scoring against the Browns. In week 2, they will face a weak Houston run defense. Ingram owners might be trying to move on from the running back, but his performance against Houston last season in week 11 should prove to put some of the doubt away. Ingram had a quiet day on the ground, only 48 yards on 13 carries for 0 touchdowns, but he made the most of 4 targets, scoring twice on 3 receptions, totaling 20.5 points. I doubt Ingram will be scoring 2 receiving touchdowns this week like he did last year against Houston, but I can imagine that the Ravens will heavily utilize both Ingram and Dobbins against Houston, making them both startable. Next in what to watch for is the Rams backfield. After the Rams let Todd Gurley go in free agency, the backfield opened up for Malcolm Brown, rookie Cam Akers, and Darrell Henderson. In week 1, Brown and Akers got most of the rushing action, getting 32 carries between the two of them. Brown had the more impressive day against the Cowboys, totaling 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, while getting 3 catches for 31 yards. Even though fantasy players scrambled to pick up Brown off of waiver wires, the Rams will continue to utilize the committee in the backfield. This opens up some time for Cam Akers or even Darrell Henderson to get some work. Pay attention to where and when each back gets their touches. Who is in the game if the Rams are in the lead, or who is in the game when they need to catch up and score. Next, we have 2 players to watch out for in Tampa Bay. First is popular week 1 waiver wire pickup Scotty Miller. While Tampa Bay's offense never truly got off the ground, Miller was tied for second on the team in targets with 6, turning that into 5 receptions for 73 yards and 0 touchdowns, totaling 12.9 fantasy points. If Godwin has to miss some time because of concussion issues, or if Mike Evans is still maligned with a hamstring injury, Scotty Miller could see another productive fantasy day against a bad Carolina defense in week 2. The other Tampa Bay player to watch out for is O.J. Howard, who tied Miller for second most targets on the team in week 1. Howard got 4 receptions for 36 yards and a touchdown, resulting in 13.6 fantasy points. Howard was the beneficiary of a red zone target, which resulted in his 1 touchdown. With Gronkowski looking less than 100%, Howard could be a decent enough tight end to stream going forward. Make sure to pay attention to what Howard does with Tom Brady on Sunday. Next up is Russell Gage. Gage had a very productive fantasy day against the Seahawks in week 1. He turned 12 targets into 9 receptions for 114 yards, equaling to 20.4 fantasy points. It's interesting to note that Matt Ryan spread the ball equally between Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage. If Gage is targeted the same rate as Jones and Ridley while being paired with the opposing defense's third coverage option, Gage could turn into a steady wide receiver 3 option going forward. Gage and the Falcons will face Dallas in what should be a high-scoring game on Sunday, so maybe don't put too much stock into the final score, more so pay attention to how much Matt Ryan looks at Gage and if he gets any red zone opportunities. Last up in what to watch for is Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky had arguably the most surprising performance in week 1, both in terms of fantasy and in real-life football. Even though he started the game off slow, he was able to throw for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns, adding another 26 yards on the ground for a total of 24.28 fantasy points. Trubisky could be due for another positive performance as the Bears will face the Giants on Sunday, who got torched by Big Ben and Juju Smith-Schuster on Monday Night Football. In addition to the Giants, Trubisky will have 3 more positive matchups in the next 5 weeks, going to Atlanta and Carolina in weeks 3 and 6, and facing Indianapolis at home in week 4. Could Trubisky finally turn into a regularly streamable quarterback? Make sure to watch him against the Giants to see if he can keep the momentum going. That will be the end of today's video. Thanks again for watching, best of luck on Sunday, and make sure to like and subscribe and even share the content if you enjoyed it.